Hi everyone, Angela here. I'm so happy to be back sharing my latest journal that I created using graphics from the Graphics Fairy premium membership site as well as the Graphics Fairy blog. It was easy this month. It's always easy just because there's so much inspiration on the site. One of the bundles that was recently released was called The Florist. Love the beautiful images, all the florals, the bouquets. I love that the Graphics Fairy always includes some background information of what inspired their kit, and a lot of times it has they use fictional characters. And for the florist, it was a lady named Miss Ella Baines, who is a busy florist, and she creates floral arrangements and baskets, and that she sources her flowers from the countryside. So for my journal, I pictured a very busy lady who had an eye and a gift for gathering flowers and creating different arrangements. And she was very busy, so she created for her neighbors and her loyal customers. And she also loved flowers herself and grew them at her home. So I wanted to create a very junky junk journal with pages, old papers sticking through that not only documented her life as a florist, but also her daily happenings and things that she used in her business as being a florist. So lots of fun, again, lots of inspiration, and bundles that I pulled from, which if you scroll at the end of the blog post, you'll see a list of all the bundles that I used to create Miss Ella's journal. So let's dive in. For the closure, I used a florist style wired ribbon. She liked to wrap her bouquets in, and then a doily that I just wrapped around the side. I used a very old book cover. I love the back. I didn't want to cover this up at all. And just to keep that neutral look, vintage, old, all I had to do was pull a graphic from the site. This is from the Naturalist Library, and it says Florist Magazine. And I just adhered that to the front. And then on the inside covers, I used a vintage book and a gardening book, and I just so happened there was a flower arrangement page, so I thought that would be fitting to go there. And I used one on the very back cover. And then I just used a brown paper bag to do a hidden spine. And there's 3 signatures. And again, I wanted it to look junky, so I didn't want it to look so uniformed and perfect and put together. So I planned for the edges to be peeking out. And then this was one of my favorite floral bouquets. And this is actually from the Graphics Fairy blog site. And I used packaging. I just adhered that to the back. I imagined that Miss Ella she would like to recycle, so she would use the brown packaging, and then I have some white packaging in there as well to wrap up her bundles of flowers. So this would be a journaling card, and you'll see those throughout. I also imagine that she had ledgers from maybe she used to document her sales and customers. These are all authentic vintage pieces. This I pulled from, I think it's the Seed catalog bundle, and she would also grow her own. So this is a list of seedlings that were available in the catalog. And then a picture, this is from the actual kit, the florist, of Miss Ella on the streets selling her flowers. And she also liked pressed flowers, so there'll be pressed flowers throughout the journal too. I put in things like railway, maybe trips that she had taken. And then here's a picture of Miss Ella. I used I think it's called the vintage album frames. She loved forget-me-nots, so I put her picture in that frame. And then here's a map, the streets of London that she would frequent. Wherever she went, she had her flowers with her. And then the center spread for the first signature is also a printable from the Graphics Fairy, as well as an order form that I stuck in this pocket. Some correspondence here, and then this is another one. I just turned it into a journaling card. I put like a color swatch on the side. She would always, if she had moments of inspiration, she would get out her paints. She would take pictures of flowers that she would try to assemble later that look similar, or maybe bouquets that she had done previously that she wanted to remember. And so that's a journaling card. And then that opens out too. This is an advertisement for her florist and one of her dried roses up there. I'm really liking all the grungy, the feel of this journal. This is also from the kit. It's a label, and I put an authentic vintage card there. Another journaling card. And then this was from an old book, Arrangements from Your Garden. So I used as one of the book pages. And then whoever owns this journal could also maybe do some either watercoloring or adding their own art there. A tag and some trim. Some old postcards, vintage postcards. And this was some tissue paper that she liked to use to wrap up some of her orders. And of course one of her favorites was the roses. So again, here's another card. The images at the Graphics Fairy are so vibrant and so pretty. I love that you don't have to do too much to them. I tried to make it look a little bit more aged, and again I added the packing material to the back to make it a journaling card. And on this too, for those that don't know, included in your membership you have access to all the tutorials, and this was a tutorial on how to do like a hidden journaling spot. So this is actually, there's a pocket here in the front, and then here's a pocket, and then this is from the Graphics Fairy as well, this wallpaper. I believe, again, it'll be listed below where that came from. And then journaling space here, and then it also comes out. So if you didn't want to journal directly inside of the actual journal, you could journal and then put that back in there. So again, lots of great, if you're not sure, maybe some elements that you would not normally add in your journal, looking for something new, they have great tutorials. Pocket, a place for her to jot down some things there. I had fun with this. I wrapped this up. This is one of Ella's favorite. Remember I said that forget-me-nots were one of her favorites to put together, so we included her forget-me-nots. And this is in that kit too, and then that transforms into, you can use that as a journaling card, but I thought that was sweet packaged together, so I'll put that back in there. This came from the latest set, the Tattered Treasures 2, I believe. This is an envelope, so she can use for correspondence. And this came from the garden book that I was telling you about for my covers. I liked that there, and I made that into a pocket. This is also one of the printables, a printable from a watch company that she had purchased a watch from. And I used some of this that was included in the kit, the wallpaper, as a tuck. The stickers, they call them stickers on the site. I used it as, again, just a decorative piece on the front and journaling on the back. I really liked this too with the florals, and you can use that for journaling. another book page with the florals. She also pressed the flowers, so this is a piece of homemade paper with pressed flowers in it. And some more pieces of ephemera that I used in making a card or a journaling spot. She could tuck. And then a little doily down here with another piece from the site. And then this is the third signature, really old piece. A little, I think they call these belly bands, I'm not sure. Some of her favorite flowers. And you just tuck that in there. And then the wrapping of the flowers. Love the envelopes. This matches actually her frame on the front with the forget-me-nots. All you have to do in the search bar at the site is type in envelopes and a ton of images will pop up. Or you can use some of the wallpaper or fabric samples that are printables and just stitch along or use glue and make your own. And then I love this. This is the center for the third signature. This is also printable. I love too, I always like to print on the back sides, and the Graphics Fairy has great bundles just for that purpose of different parchments or old vintage papers that you can use to print on the back sides. And this is just additional journaling. I just took a brad, I think that's what they're called, a metal piece in the back, just for extra notes. This is one of the florist cards. That's part of the set. And this is gorgeous. I think this is A Rose is a Rose is the bundle that I got this from. I've used this image numerous times. It's beautiful. And again, you can journal, some hidden journaling behind there. I just layered some parchment with an old rose book page and then the graphic. This is one of Ella's favorite fabrics, and this I made an envelope. This piece is included in the florist kit, and I used it to make an envelope to put some extra pieces inside. So whoever owns this is going to have lots of fun with it because it's beautifully set up, and it can transform and go from Ella's florist journal to prayer journal, scripture journal. Basically, if you love flowers, you would love to work in this. Lots of yummy papers, journaling spots, so much fun in there. So I hope you've been inspired, and thank you for visiting and joining me today.